Okay, that's what I thought it
I think it's an
was.
open question because they're city employees, and the city has said, we're giving all of our employees 2% increases.
Yeah.
As I understood it, once we got our money from the municipalities, we decided how to spend it. The board decided how to
Yeah.
spend it. And in this case.
And we have our own budget.
Yeah, in this case, do we have the right to say, we're not going to give 2% increases, even though the city has said they're giving their employees 2% increases?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works or how that plays out.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Kind of a strange arrangement. Because they're really not employees of this library, they're employees of the city.
Mhm.
So when they do that, they should increase our budget money.
I don't know how that works. Here he is.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mr. O'Connor.
Right there, how are you?
Good, how are we doing?
Just Chucky.
Excellent.
Are we done yet?
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be, okay.
I have to sync them together.
What's that? So it's on.
Yeah, so that you can like sync the video to the sound at the clap.
Oh, I see. I thought you wanted the meeting to start.
No.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Finance committee meeting over, I take it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, we kind of have a quorum. I'm looking at them.
They're plotting.
Yep.
They're plotting.
We're gonna hit
could
me
be
hard
wrong.
today.
Are we gonna be here till 10 tonight?
No.
No.
Good.
No.
I like
I would
that.
imagine we'll be done by 7:30.
7:30, 7:30 we're out here.
Okay.
Barb and Cor.
Okay, Barb's here.
Barb's here?
Yep.
We will be missing Cor.
Okay.
She won't be here today.
All right, I guess he gets the bulk of the assignments tonight.
Yep.
All right, call the meeting to order. The meeting has been duly noted and noticed, rather. I presume. I'll go and check on those things, but. We got the roll call. That's done. Everybody have a chance to take a look at the agenda? Anything you'd like to do with the agenda? No? Move the agenda?
Move in no particular order.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Who made the motion to approve the agenda?
Marion did, in no particular order.
In no particular order.
And I'll second it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Agenda's been moved and seconded in no particular order. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is approved. Everybody got the date of the next meeting down?
Yep.
And I believe I must announce that I will not be here for that meeting. That's going to break a lot of hearts.
Especially yours, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so the vice chair will have to take over that meeting.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay?
Okay.
Let's see, minutes, everybody have a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Yeah.
Any additions, deletions, additions?
I think the only thing you want to change is the date at the top of it.
Tuesday, October 17th, that wasn't the,
I think it's the 15th.
no?
Okay. I didn't catch that.
Thank you.
I wasn't here, but,
But you knew the day that you weren't gonna be here.
well, I looked at the video, so as I was looking at the video, I prompted me to.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other corrections? Motion?
To approve.
It's amended?
That's amended, yes.
Okay, moved, the minutes of the previous meeting have been moved and seconded as amended. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Abstain. I wasn't here.
Sorry about that. Mary. I said you had, so-
Gotcha.
You know?
I've looked at the video so I can concur that they were.
You know, and just for clarification, anybody can vote on that. Doesn't matter if you're here or not.
I know, but I did look at the video, so I'm voting.
All right, citizen comments.
Yes,
Did
Here I am.
Did I hear a voice?
yes, you heard me. Not only a citizen, I'm a Friends member and a volunteer, and you name it, you got it. But anyway, first of all, thank you, thank you, thank you from all of the Friends for coming to our meeting last week.
Oh.
It was absolutely wonderful, very positive, very enlightening, and it opened up a whole new understanding of what all of you do. And I've always told you this before, when I come up here and talk, I thank you for doing everything that you do. And please keep it going. And just remember, we're all on the same team. We all want the library to succeed. So there. And I'm going to extend an open invitation to everybody else here. If you ever just want to come over and do a tour, get in touch with me and I'll meet you here. I know after work, I understand, because I'm not morning. This is nighttime. This is the only time I can get here also. But please come and see, because we've got a wonderful building. Right now, they're working on a new building down here, and and that construction is going to go on for the ramp is going to get started. We're going to have more activity. And like I said before, all of those things they do down in Washington that they don't know anything about, they always end with a sentence, see your public library.
No?
Well, we've got to have the answers for them when they come. So, thank you for listening, and I'll sit over here and be quiet as a church mouse.
Thanks for the comments. Anybody else? We here? Okay. Linda?
Okay. What I'd like to really let you know is, in the lobby, we have all their lights on. They've been out a lot. We now have lights downstairs where people have been complaining it was too dark. Unfortunately, now the A light outside is out. You can't win with these lights around here. But we had been getting quite a few complaints. We needed to wait till the city hired the lift to do the Christmas lights to get it exchanged, okay? But they were all replaced, whether they were on or off. We replaced them all, the lamps. The other thing is, I had a question on the DVD purchases from January to October 2013. I know the person asked for 12 months. I would have to go to City Hall and get the rest of the invoices to really get an accurate count on how many we purchased between October and December of 2012. In the non-rental ones this year, we bought 258 DVDs. 13 were nonfiction, and they cost $4,624. Now, that's the total circulation of the items in a DVD collection. It's 29,000. It's not just the 258 I purchased, okay? Then, the next thing, the rental DVDs. I
So,
purchased.
can I back
Go
up 1
ahead.
second, please, Linda?
Go ahead.
So you're saying the 258 you have here are those that were just purchased this year?
Yes.
Okay, and what is our total in that library of non-rental, do you know?
It's here in, let's see if we can find it, children's print. Adult audio, no, I don't have it. I do not,
Ballpark for now,
3,000 total.
about 3,000 total?
Don't you have it on page 8, Linda? Shows 3,173.
Maybe I could look it up before I came.
Linda, can I stop and ask a question about DVDs before you get too far? I'm looking at the paragraph that you wrote on the top, why do we purchase DVDs? And the question is, and we'll get to it later as part of the budget item, but I think we're trying to figure out, why does the IFLS, why do they force us to participate in this DVD gathering and buying? What is it, we're paying them, why are they setting the policy?
We need to carry our own. You know, if you don't want to buy any of it, but you probably won't be a member, you're going to have to support the system, because we are also drawing items from the system. You know,
But if this joint board said, we want to get out of the fiction business, which is 95% of the ones that we bought, why are they forcing us then to continue to buy? Well, why are they setting our policy is my question.
well, it's not only based on the fact that we should carry our own, it's also based on how many of the Hudson people put reserves on DVDs. You have to talk to your Hudson taxpayers and tell them not to order, request these reserves on DVDs. Otherwise, we need to carry our own. If our people are going to want that many, we need to purchase. And it isn't at the level that is, you know, we keep it at 4 or whatever I put on here.
Yeah, but you know, this goes back to the argument that I've been trying to make for the last couple months, okay? That is the purpose of the library. And I've been thinking about this a little bit, because what we're saying here is that the residents demand it, therefore we must do it. But that's not necessarily the correct way of looking at it, I don't think. And I'm going to give you an example. This may sound stupid, maybe it is. But if we were to say the library is now going to start selling subsidized milk, and the milk is going to cost the taxpayer $1 to come and pick up the milk, I bet we would have a huge demand for milk down at the desk. So to me, it's not about circulation, it's not about demand, because the people you know, we've had 2 video stores go out of business, and it's my contention, it's partly because of the library, and people's ability to check out, quote, free videos, and we all know that they're not free. I don't know what the circulation cost is now, is it closer to $6 a video when they check these out? So there is a cost, I don't know what is that
What
cost?
is it, $250-ish?
It's like 2.
Okay, well, let's,
I think that's true of any item. That's not just for a DVD, that's any item that circulates.
Well, that's because it's counted as one cert,
that's
right?
one
Right,
circulation,
right,
that's
right,
fine.
right.
So let's say it's $2 or whatever the cost may be. So it's not about, to me, it's not about the fact that, because, hey, it's just like anything that the government does. If we subsidize it, we're going to get more of it. Period.
So,
That's exactly what it is.
So, I mean, I haven't been here, so I did listen to the videos, but it would be helpful. Just to clarify, are you suggesting, Kurt, that there be no fiction in the library?
Well, part of,
So are you saying, are you
Okay.
suggesting that there be no fiction books?
No.
And no fiction audio tapes?
I didn't say that. No.
Well, I'm just trying to clarify
Right.
because it's one format
Mhm.
that you're, I don't, so it's the format that you don't want.
What I'm trying to figure out is, here's where we're at, okay? Because we're in a situation, and as I've gotten on the board and listened to some of the discussion and tried to figure out how can we, part of what we need to do, and this is going to happen down the road here in the discussion about the budget and the adjustments to the budget, is try to find a way to balance the budget. I mean, we have to find a way to balance the budget, Barb, otherwise we're not going to be in this building. And so we have to, I think we have to start taking a hard look at some of these items. Now, I'm going to piggyback on what Marion said about the Indian Head Federation. You know, personally, I looked at the increase in the fee that they're asking for, I guess they're telling us, I don't know what that's all about. That's a huge increase in the fee that we're gonna discuss later. But, you know, for them to dictate through their policy that we must purchase this many DVDs based on the amount that people are reserving, again, I go back to the argument that with milk, we can sell anything subsidized down there at the desk, and people are gonna buy it. People are gonna come get it. If it's subsidized by someone else, some other SAP I like to call it, some other SAP is paying for it, so they're gonna get it free, quote unquote, from the library. We can have a lot of things down there. I think what we have to determine is what's appropriate for the library. I will say that I have mentioned since the last meeting, finding out that we allow X-rated videos to be taken out from our library, that I have not encountered one person who supports that. Not one. And I've told that to about 20 people, trying to get some feedback on that. And I would encourage other members of the library board to tell people that we allow X-rated videos to be checked out at our library and find out how much support they find. And I would be willing to bet there's not much. So if that's part of our DVD rental arrangement, I think we need to adjust that somehow. I'm not about censorship, but you know, I'm looking for solutions for the budget primarily, and finding ways to reduce our spending without impacting the quality of the library services. And I look at fiction videos as a lower priority than even fiction books. Because personally, I think that a child or an adult, I think that they're better served with a book, a fiction book, than they are, you know, Mary Poppins or some DVD that's a fiction DVD, animated or whatever it is, a regular movie. So I think we should take a look at the DVDs and finding a way we have a huge collection already of DVDs, but yet we've purchased 258. I don't know if that's new titles or just people that are demanding certain releases or certain movies. You know, I don't know why that 258 breaks out, but it kind of bothers me a little bit that when I looked at the budget report and the proposed revised budget, that we have an increase of $14,000 going to Indian Head. I look over there at their website and I see a whole laundry list of individuals that we're paying for their overhead, their pensions, their health. What I mean, are we better served to, as I looked at that, to say that we should take half of that money and invest that in items that stay in this library if we have to remove ourselves from that system? Because I would like to know, with the Indian Head Library Federation system, what percentage of this circulation of, you know, whatever people are asking for, what percentage of that is DVDs? What percentage of that is books or audiobooks? Do we know what that is? When you look at that library system and what people are asking for when they come to the library, and they're going online or asking to have that reserved through the Federation, what is the percentage? How does that break down?
I can bring it to the next meeting.
Because I'm concerned that the majority of that is videos.
Well, real quick, print material versus DVD. Adult print is 42,254 circs. Adult DVDs is 38,000, so it's almost 1 for 1. DVD, but if 95%.
No, but you're talking about that, but that's total circulation. That's not necessarily what we're getting from. That could be items that are already in here.
That is correct.
My concern is what is our membership with this federation bringing us, especially when we have a $14,000 increase, in their membership. And it's my contention, well, this let me finish. If it's my contention that if the majority of what we're getting from this federation is basically one big video circulation in the Indian Head region, then I wouldn't support that.
So my comment, I thought, was Linda could break out what is included in the Indian Head costs.
Right.
So that we're not speculating. Right now, there's a lot of speculation going on about what makes up that fee, and I think it would be helpful for the whole board to be briefed.
Well, I'm not speculating, I'm just saying if it is, or if it was, I wouldn't support it.
Well,
I'm not speculating that it is, I don't know what the,
Well, right,
you know.
right.
Okay.
I do know that part of what we're paying for is for the cataloging of our materials. So we have outsourced the cataloging of our materials. That's an example. So among the components that make up that fee, as well as other things that it provides, in terms of our online system as well. So if we were not part of IFLS, there would be significant costs that would need to be incurred. So, but Linda needs to provide that
Well,
information to us
okay,
so that
so-
we're
Okay, so here's what I would ask for the next meeting, when it comes to the Indian Ed Federation library system, is what is the percentage of items, okay, that circulate, that people request? And I'm talking about people from Hudson, from our library. What are they requesting from the Federation as a percentage, whether it be books or DVDs? And that's pretty easy. Books or DVDs, what are they asking for? And
Fiction or nonfiction?
well, books, I mean, like I just stated, a fiction book, you know, I guess I could put it in a different category than a fiction DVD. You know, a fiction book, a kid can sit and read and spend some time and actually, you know, I think that's educational. I think renting a DVD for Friday night, plopping your kids in front of the TV and watching the DVD, I don't consider that educational. That's just my opinion. But the other thing,
It has a literacy value or not.
I think it has a literacy value. I think that kids reading is a great thing. I think books are great, and I think kids reading is wonderful. I think kids sitting in front of the TV watching a video is not. So the other thing that I would like you to bring to the meeting, because Barb had touched on cost for cataloging and those types of things. What is the cost? What would be the cost? And what does that federation bring to our library? What value does it bring to our library other than circulation of these products? Because I think we should put a figure to that, because I'm still of the opinion that if we can buy additional material for our library, for here, that stays here, and reduce that cost, because I think it's significant, I think that's a benefit to the taxpayers to do that, and to the library, because we would help build what we have here on the shelves, so that people don't have to ask to get a book from Eau Claire or wherever. And if it's a video, personally, I don't really care. If there's not a video here, and you know what? Whether they can go to Netflix or go to a video store and look at it.
Quick math says it's about 8% of the total budget, so I mean, it is significant as we try to look at all this. I think there's room in the future for us as a board to talk about this fiction DVD, and the reason why is because it's what Barb and Kurt touched on. Kurt said 2 DVD rental places went out of business. Yes, that's true. Barb said, well, what, we're not supposed to offer this, we're not supposed to offer that, not supposed to offer fiction books. The question is where do you go to rent those? Where can a resident go to use a computer terminal? Okay, those things aren't readily available, but DVD fiction rental top titles are. They're available. There's places that do that, and that's why I think there's room for discussion, especially as IFLS keeps jumping $14,000. That's huge. So, I mean, we'll wait till that item comes up to talk about the $14,000, but I think there's room to discuss fiction DVDs.
And we already purchased, that money that you put here in the last 10 months is already, this is separate from the, IFLIS, that's the acronym you use? It's separate from that fee,
No, we haven't
correct?
got information off it.
This $4,624 is separate from that fee to IFLIS. So we already, even without being part of that federation, have purchased 258 new titles for people to rent, and we have 3,173, right, is that what we said, Brian?
Yeah.
Titles
It's in your document.
available, right?
All right,
So maybe we can get
Yeah.
a list of services, and then if there's anything that we can choose to opt out of, then we can.
And perhaps they would let us do that, rather than being so comprehensive. See if that's an option for Memphis.
all right, so you know what you're gonna do there, Linda?
It's recorded.
Perfect. Got it. All right, point well taken. All right, go ahead, Linda.
So, we continue to have more card holders come to the library.
I'm
And
sorry, what you saying?
We continue to have new card holders
Okay.
sign up all the time. The circulation right now is at 251,000. 50,000 items were circulated from other libraries. They were requested by the public. If you want to know the number of items in our collection, it's 76,000. I have here where I've given you the circulation on these items. And, for example, board books, we have 520, and we circulated so far 2,461 of them to the public, to children. Then we go to the adult print items. We've circulated 42,000. Adult audios, we've circulated 38,000. That includes books on CD nonfiction, DVD nonfiction, rental DVDs, music CDs, and books on CDs. And then we also have the young adult collection, and we've circulated 7,980 of the 4,000, and we only have 4,139 items in the collection. So that one is growing. We have a lot more young people here in the evenings. I realize check-ins are never counted, but that is one additional job that we do perform over the year. And right now, the check-ins was 19,000. We average about 98 per hour, and we check in about 862 items a day.
All right, can I back up a
Yes.
second, Linda?
Mhm.
All right. I want to go back to page 6 or 3 of 9. 3 of 9. The visitor count, 2011, 2012, are these average, monthly average?
Average per day, we get about 480.
No, up,
Up here.
2011, 2012. Visitor count.
Yeah, that was for the whole, no, I haven't been updating it, I'll have to say that.
That would have to be monthly, I
Yeah.
think, right?
Monthly
No,
average.
I just haven't
Okay.
updated that, to be honest with you, I haven't caught it. I could give you the totals from last year and for sure in the year before, because I do have them.
So it appears as though our average per day is increasing from 2011 and 2012. 2012 is really down.
Well, no, you can't go by 2011 and 2012, that's not, you know. Well, all right, let's just do it that way, like you said, but we're increasing, I mean,
Okay, I
we
get
are
it.
super busy.
I get it. My question then is, the graphs that we had in the past on circulation seem to indicate that circulation was down,
It is done.
but visits are up. All right, so people are coming in here utilizing computers, utilizing periodicals.
Meeting rooms, attending programming, using the history room.
Okay.
And simply, a lot of parents are bringing their children in to play and read in the children's area. We also have, children's programming.
All right, so, and I just want to make that clear. I mean, one of the things that we're trying to analyze here is where the usage is going to be for the future of this library, what people are coming in here for. We know the circulation's down, but I guess at the same time that those graphs were being looked at, I wasn't paying attention to the visitor count and noticing that the visitor count is actually up even though our circulation is down. So we need to start taking into consideration, I guess, what the people are what else they're coming here for. Is that right?
Well, and I did attend the Wisconsin Library Association meeting, and the majority of the libraries have a decrease in circulation, but we've noticed it in the last couple of years when e-books were available, downloadable e-books, audiobooks. I'm one of the guilty party. I download and I read off of my iPad and I listen to them on my iPod. But I walk in the door every day.
Oh, there you go.
Linda, and you're getting your downloadable books from where?
From the More website, which is subsidized when we pay our fee during the year.
So the use of e-books and e-audiobooks is not part of our circulation numbers,
No.
right?
You cannot count it as circulation.
Very interesting.
The
So
law,
that's
the state,
just-
How do we account for that? How do we include that in what we're talking about? I mean, if we're talking about the
Is
future,
page 6 and 9, is that the total number we're talking about, Linda, 4,206?
that's for 2011.
You need to go to the next page.
Right now,
Okay, so.
ebooks,
10,000.
downloadables,
okay, so we are
So
keeping track of the count.
it's 10,000 right now.
Got it.
But when we don't get credit as such because of the way state statute reads at this time.
Right.
Okay, so I don't want to belabor this. All I want to do is point out that when we start looking at utilization through circulation, that's just, with the graph that we did, it's just not representative of actually what's going on here. And we need to start taking this into consideration. You and I, Linda, can huddle later and figure out how we're going to do this. Okay? Bart, you have anything there? Anything more?
No, I just wanted you to know that
Yeah, I think,
I was aware that circulation wasn't being counted
got it. Okay.
because of state statute.
Well, where were you when we were going over the graphs, Bart?
Well, I wasn't here, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry, Linda, go ahead.
Okay. And then I do have here the programming for children, the programming for adults. That is one of the tougher ones. We try to reach the individuals with new programming. So far, we have not really reached the public with our adult programming. Children's programming is still going on, good attendance. The young adults, we have more young adults using the YA area. I mean, it's not, they do come in to read or they come in to study in that area, which is something we never used to see like in the other library, because we really didn't have a collection area for them to go, or an area in the library. And we do see that now. Any more questions? Okay, we're done with that. Next. Bridge the Gap. Bridge the Gap continues to have funds come in. Let's see if I can find the document. Did anyone write it down? I don't see it. Okay, go to the website. Oops. I did have Matthew change this website so that when you click on the library board, the packets come up right away for you. All right, bridge the gap. Okay. What's going on now? Bridge the gap. See, what I did was anyway,
Well, our spreadsheet says there was $22,428 collected already, and we had projected $25,000, so we're $2,500 short, basically, on Bridge the Gap.
well, and it's even more because on that document, we have to remember the 1464 and the 2974 has to be reduced from that because it hasn't been taken off. It's in our postage, it's in our,
The expenses.
yeah.
But
those
that
are
was the
those-
Well, it shows the total is
Program.
22,776.
Yeah, 22.
Yeah, we collected that much.
Yeah, but
So
the
the net-
expense,
so the net is 18.
we said we take the expense out to run the program.
Yeah, well, that isn't what Neil did, okay? He already has taken it out of postage and everything, because he says that's an expense account, you don't take it out of the revenue account. So there. Because I did talk to him about that.
So if we get $2,500 in the next 2 months, we'll have met our goal of $25,000.
And I did receive another $50 today. It's coming in very sporadically. It seems to average about $50, you know, if I take and average it out. So,
Probably as the year comes to a conclusion, some people hold requests for funding to December and deal with them all at one time. That's some people's patterns, so there may be additional ones that come.
okay,
Okay.
there is no communication program specialist report. Her son is ill, so she's not here today.
Friends of the library?
Yes. I could have done it all in one. You know, we received the Family Fresh check, I guess, last month. And we are already $19,000 into another one. And we receive these receipts from anybody and everybody. So please, make sure all of your friends go and shop there for November and December so that we can get a whole lot more money. Is that bad? That's all. And I just, thank you again, please. I just, you know, I so much appreciate all the work that you all do. Thank you.
Thank you. You know what, I really, library leadership communication fund, what is that? I don't know that I
think
have.
it's the meeting on Thursday.
Oh, coming up?
I think that's what it is.
Okay. I really don't have any comments, other than to say that we are having a meeting on Thursday between, including the Friends of the Library Foundation, and I'm representing the board, and Barb is representing the board. So I think it's 2 people from each. They wanted past presidents of the board, current president, past president of the board, and I think it's the same thing, current and past president of each of the other organizations, to discuss what we can do to try to bring in more revenue here, and you know, other things that other people may want to talk about. And it's, the discussion is truly going to be about the vitality of the library. So that's about it. Meeting is here Thursday, I think 6:30. And
I think it's in the history room.
oh, history room, yeah. Okay. So that's it. Other than that, I really don't have anything to report. I met with the Friends of the Library the other night, and I think that was a good meeting. I think everybody understands the situation that we're in, and what we need now is just to get people on board to try to improve our situation, figure out how we're going to do that. Okay? Finance Committee?
If you look at the spreadsheets, January to December, Karen pointed out that Code 339 is $642 over the expenditures, but when you look at 338, there's $1,000 in development. Finance Committee talked about combining those two codes because if you're going to develop employees, you're going to go to conferences, you're going to go to training, you're going to go to classes, and so those two really should be combined. If you look at the two of them together, we're okay, we're not over the budget, so it doesn't make sense to have them separated. So we're going to combine those two. The other thing we talked about is the sheets on the detailed expenses that we got, a total $58,626, but in fact, the total expenditures are $79,602 because there are expenses that were made after these reports were published, which we did not get. And so we're talking about how we can possibly get these detailed reports on a more up-to-date basis so that we can review the detailed expenses. But when you look at what was on the $58,000, there wasn't anything that was extraordinary. So we're okay with what there is. We just like to see a more up-to-date report so that we have the total detail as opposed to getting it, later and you don't get a chance to see it. So we're talking about that. The only other question that came up at the Finance Committee meeting is if you look at the bottom of your net revenue and expenses, there's a number there that shows $206,000 negative. We don't believe we're going to be $206,000 in debt. There appears to be some type of a calculation in here which ends up showing us to be $206,000 negative, and we don't know the answer to that. So
I
that's
think
going to
that's
be,
just the difference between where we're at and our budget.
well,
That doesn't
as you read it, Barb,
Okay.
as you read it, it shows that our expenses for the remaining year are going to be $202,000.
Oh.
I don't believe that.
Okay, yeah.
None of us believe that,
No.
and we believe there's an error somewhere.
Okay.
We can't find it by looking at the detail.
Okay.
So Linda's going to check with Neil or Devin and figure out why that shows up that way, because we don't know what it is. But we do not believe we're going to be $200,000 negative. Well, we won't be $200,000 negative. And so those are the items that we talked about. Those are the items. We don't have that much money, so.
No.
So that broke, right? So those are the items that the Finance Committee discussed and went over. Consider the employee health insurance. As it turns out, there'll be no increase in health insurance this year based on what Devin has said. And so we're going to maintain the same rate as we had last year, which is a real positive for us. Updates to the 2014 approved budget. The changes that we looked at, or the things that we now know that we did not know when we put the budget together, is that it appears that the municipalities will give us a 5% increase in revenues. So that was put into the adjusted. And then the increase with the IFSLL fee, $14,000, that was a surprise to everybody. I don't know. We don't know exactly why that is, but that came out of nowhere, so.
Has anybody contacted them?
It's because.
Linda has, and then she knows the information.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So, Linda.
It's because we voted at Directors Council to provide free gal to the patrons, which allows them to download 3 music songs a week. And also, we're offering them reading, which offers other additional ebook titles that they can download. And it was voted on by the Directors Council, which is all of the directors in the 50-some libraries. And it was approved at that meeting.
No, the
Did-
problem is like.
Did
Mary-
those directors know what the increase was going to be when they voted?
Yes. Their funding formula is different than ours.
Apparently.
Well, but what we run into is a situation where they're overriding our budget. I mean, we have people in Eau Claire voting on something and overriding our budget, which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I think we should seriously consider looking at membership in that organization, as we discussed earlier, and take a look at the benefits we get from that organization versus the costs, because that's significant. And people are just voting on something, it's, I hate to say it's typical, but it's, as I said, they just don't see it. It's somebody else's, it's not their money, so to speak. It's just like,
You have not attended a director's council meeting. They can be very heated.
Mhm. But,
And they really, truly, all of the other
Mhm.
directors, just like me, talk about how much money we really can afford. Is the service worth what it will give us back? It is not just a yes, no. There is a lot of discussion, heated discussion, when we talk about the budget for
But
next
it's-
year.
but what I'm saying though, Linda, is that this is not, we are, as a board, one step removed from elected office. So you have the citizens, you have the elected officials, as Rich is, elected official, right? Then you have the joint library board, which is a step down from that, not elected but appointed. Then you have the directors, one step farther away from the taxpayers. And then you have this federation, this association, another step farther. That's what I'm getting at. It's not, they're not connected to the taxpayers of our district, of our joint library board.
They are
This is
connected to their taxpayers in their communities. So when
I'm
they're
not concerned
voting,
about their taxpayers. I'm concerned about my neighbors, my neighborhood, my village. That's who I represent. I'm concerned about them. That's who I represent. So that's who I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned about River Falls, and they can do what they want. But my concern is looking at an increase that is, well, quite frankly, it's unbelievable.
It's huge.
The increase that they have proposed on us is unbelievable. Do they ever consider when that vote is taken that there might be some library that says, we can't afford that? I mean, did they just assume that,
I abstain from the vote.
well, that's good.
And
I would hope you'd have voted no.
And also, the cost is based on the usage of the Hudson people on the system, the circulation, and the amount of materials we have on the shelf. Not everybody gets the same bill. It's
So-
based on the usage,
Based on usage?
yeah.
Well, then I think we need to really have a good discussion next month about the value of this organization and the cost.
Well, and don't forget, we just circulated 251,000 items.
Okay.
You know, that brings the cost
So-
up to.
I would agree, we can have that conversation, we can put that on the agenda. What I would like to know is, what is the range of the increase? So what is everybody paying? So it's based upon usage, so we got a $14,000 increase. What did Eau Claire get?
They get a huge.
Pardon me?
Ours is a 25%.
25% increase?
And theirs was what? Well, that's what I'd like to know, I mean, because
I can give you those.
a lot of these communities, and this is part of the discussion that we're having, obviously, locally now, is that, you know, a lot of these communities are getting local government aid, they're getting revenue sharing coming out of the state, and they've got money that say, what do we do with it?
And we don't.
We don't have that.
Right. We're in a
And
different
I don't know that, and I can't disagree with you at all. I don't know that they get that. I don't know that they understand that at that level.
Right, that's why I'm saying.
Because they are a step or two away
Yeah,
from
they're
the,
very far removed from my neighbor,
sure,
who may be on a fixed income.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, and the other thing, I don't know if we're done with this discussion, but we kind of glossed over the health insurance issue, right? That there's a zero increase in health insurance. But I had asked that we talk a little bit about that, and I don't know if there's another place on the agenda to talk about that. If maybe we could talk a little bit about that, because I'm still concerned about the cost. I got information from Devin, from Neil, about health insurance, and it's my understanding that there is no union at the city anymore, except for the police union, right? So there are no unionized employees in the city. So I'm just curious why, I'm trying to get a feel for how much health insurance is, other than what the city pays, say on the exchanges, on the affordable health care Act exchanges what is a family policy. And the only reference that I have was that I asked my wife, what does her company pay? Because we get insurance through her employer. And she told me today that the employer pays $13,000 towards, and I don't know what 3M does, I don't know,
3M has a huge pool. I don't know what company your wife works for. If it's a huge company,
No.
the risk is,
they have about 100 employees.
okay, so the risk is spread over
Yeah, they have about 100 employees.
more.
12 to 15,000 is probably a good family plan.
Right, and so, okay, so I want to digress, go back to that point, and say that I believe it's in the purview of the library board, possibly, to offer a payment to, in lieu of providing health insurance, a payment such as, and I'm just going to throw out a figure, such as maybe $15,000 towards a family policy, maybe $7,500 towards an individual policy. And as the law is written right now, from my understanding, is that people with pre-existing conditions cannot be denied through the Affordable Health Care Act.
The problem we have here is that under the law, the city of Hudson as a municipality is required to offer all of their employees insurance. That's a requirement under the law. The employees can choose to accept that insurance or opt for something else. But if they choose to accept it, we're required to give them that. And since the library employees are city employees, we're required to offer them the insurance that's available through the city.
Well, they don't have to be though.
And
That's
their
their
choice. That's their choice.
No, they don't, the library board can take over the administration of the library employees and,
No.
Not according to the setup we're in.
No.
All of the
well, that's
employees.
the information I got
No,
from Devin and.
these are municipal employees, they're city employees.
Mhm.
And so they're part of the city plan, they come under the city laws and regulations. So the city is required to offer them health insurance. They, as individuals, can choose to tell the city, no, I don't want your insurance, and I want to do something else, but we cannot force that upon them.
But again, what I got from Devin was that, and this was information I got from Devin, maybe is it not correct? That,
Well, you got representatives from the two municipalities on
Not
the
according
boards.
to my understanding, as I pursued the same question. And the answer was, under the law, we have to provide.
I got that part, I got that part, Rich. But what my point was not that part. My point was that it's that the joint library board could take over the administration, and that was the point that Devin made. Yes, you can segregate, and you can take the library employees, Linda and the two full-time people, right, and the part-time people, and make them employees of the joint library, but that you would have to take over the administration of their payroll. That was the information that I got from Devin. And I can be honest, I don't think that when you look at a cost of $67,000 or such for 3 full-time employees insurance, and you can now, say, offer payments for insurance that they can get through even the exchange, the healthcare exchange, and even if you factored in, and Karen, maybe you have an idea, what the payroll administration would be through a service such as ADP or something like that, I don't think you're going to get close to $67,000. If you offered $15,000 per employee, let's just say that's the figure, $37,500 if you throw in a single employee, and then.
Some of what I know on the health insurance, you kind of throw out, they can go out to the exchange, that's not necessarily true. If it's affordable, which if the premium is like 9.5% is the limit. So if the single employee premium is less than 9.5% of their salary, they don't have an exchange option. And the exchange isn't necessarily better. we're finding, we just did our renewal, and we're finding individual policies are going up 150 to 250% because of the new law changes. Like you said, they can't exclude pre-existing, they have to cover dental up to age 18, they have to cover pregnancy, all the stuff they have to cover is raising everybody's rates. So the rates out there are very high. You would take, if you want to take them out of that population and put them in their own little pool, you could rate them in a small group, but then you're gonna look at their claims and you have a smaller population. So if
That's
they
hard
have
for me to
one
imagine.
claim, your rates are gonna go up.
I get that, it's hard for me to imagine.
The
That the
rates are
rates-
very, very high. The
that
city
they're-
has very, very high rates, yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying, those rates are astronomical.
And that's probably one reason why they didn't have an increase this year, because maybe some of those claims have gone away or they get new population. So I would suspect that
But
they
my-
can't get any higher. They would probably
You
even
can't
see
get any higher than that. My point
future
is, I don't
decrease
think
in the
that,
future.
I cannot see, I really can't see rates through the exchange being anywhere near that.
On average, a rate in exchange is about $347 on average, speculation, for a single employee.
Right, $347 a month.
Family, we've done some research on just our family rates and some other family rates. We shop the market, $1,200. It all gets into what you want to do. You want an age rate, gender rate. There's all kinds of plans out there, but a single person could still be as high as $1,200 a month.
Well, but if you gave, I'm just
So,
I'm
yeah,
throwing it
you
out
could,
there, I'm
in
just trying,
general,
and
have
again,
a cheaper
I try to
plan.
look at ways that we can reduce expenditures, because when you,
The only way we can do that is to fire these people from the city, fire them as city employees, and have the library hire them as a library. That's what you have to do. Because the way it's set up today, you can't do what you're asking
And
to
there's a
do.
little, well, I'm not sure how the city
So then
does
they
it,
become
but
employees of the
tax.
library.
well,
And-
you got two ways to do this, Rick, okay, to stay in this building. You got two ways, there's only two ways to stay in the building. You gotta either raise more money, or you gotta reduce the expenses.
That's right.
I have been, because I have seen that, I have seen through the last several years,
Plus 30,000
that
savings, 213.
the Library Foundation,
Personnel,
who I thought was gonna raise money for the library, is not gonna raise money for the library,
So
really.
we would
Okay,
say that.
It's inherent
13,000.
upon the board to reduce expenses. The municipalities have offered up
You get
nice increases.
13,000 savings.
Okay, the village and everybody, 5% across the board, really, right? That was a stretch, I would imagine, it was for us in North Hudson, and it was for the city
That's
to
what he
do that.
says, how much is the service?
I'm just trying to, I'm not trying to degrade the employees as far as reducing their compensation or any of that. I'm just trying to find a way to, and the same goes with the discussion about the DVDs, trying to find a way to streamline the budget so that we can stay in the building.
And I think that's important, Kurt, and I think that obviously that's a big expense. It's one that, I don't know, that, like I said, we've exhausted the conversation on it.
If we have, that's fine.
But I would
just wanted
say
to throw it
that
out
there's
there.
not much more that we can do on it right now,
Okay.
given what we've heard. I mean, we're not gonna be in a position tonight to say we're gonna fire, the city's gotta fire them. There's nothing we can do anyway. We'd have to talk to them and ask them if that's what we wanted to pursue. I don't have an appetite for that. I don't know that anybody else does. So it's something we can put on hold for a while. We know it's out there. We know it's a big expense. And I think that there's a lot more to come on this Affordable Care Act anyway, so.
Yeah.
All right.
It's good news that the rates don't go up.
Yeah.
I'll just conclude by saying the city has decided to give their employees a 2% increase. Again, these people are city employees, so the question is, will they get the 2% increase? I think legally we're required to give the 2% increase. I don't know that we have a choice not to do that, but we can talk about that if you want, but that's in the adjusted budget also. There was only one other question on the adjusted budget, and that is that part-time wages, as Karen pointed out, went up a little over 6%, and we are only offering a 2% increase. So that has to be looked at to try to decide why it went up 6 over 2. And that's the
And I would like to say, these figures were from the human resource person at the city of Hudson, Devin Willie.
So Devin has to be asked why that went up 6% instead of 2%. We aren't offering 6% increases, we're offering a 2% increase. So
Okay.
that has to be checked. So that's
Yeah, but
covers.
that was just miscalculation because we're still $48,000.
Exactly. Of which a breakboard is 15,000 out of the EFS.
I mean,
So that's
my
the
goal,
report on that.
I know that I voted for a budget that was, and I'm not looking for a long meeting, but I know that I voted for a budget that was not,
It was busted.
it was busted. And it's been bothering me since that vote, and I think that it does justice to our patrons and our taxpayers if we can still look at ways to even this out before we get into the next year, because otherwise, there's gonna be all this wrangling about the building and about searching for places for the library. I want to see the library stay in this facility. I've never said anything other than that. And I'm just looking for a way to make that work.
I got it, it's cool.
Well, no,
I'll make a motion that we approve the bills as presented this evening, because I don't think we have a motion yet to
No,
approve
no.
the payment of the bills.
All right,
Thank you.
let's move
I'll second
to,
that.
move and seconded to pay the bills, and that's, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
One other comment that was made in the finance committee meeting, that this adjusted budget is not our budget. We have a budget that was approved in August. You're gonna see differences in the budget that should be just noted in our approved budget. Okay, so I mean, we're not changing, I had it out earlier, we're not changing the approved budget that we had. You're just gonna see variances in different line items on the budget. We have an approved budget from August. And we shall not change that.
The one question I have is as Linda's looking into that issue with the Indian Head Federation, what is our contractual obligation with those people?
I think you already asked that, Kurt.
Did I?
I think Linda's
She's
gonna
gonna bring
research
services.
that.
Okay,
Next month.
okay.
All right, so,
And
Rich, anything more?
kind of Marion as well with.
want
the
to
policies.
move acceptance of the budget?
Well,
The finance report? All we did is pay the bills.
We already have, just look at the bills.
Yeah.
There's no adjustments.
No
to the
adjustments.
budget.
Okay.
We only have one approved
But no
budget.
adoption of the finance report, just pay the bills.
Pay the bills.
All right. How are we doing on the, where are we at with the lease?
As far as I know, we're still in the lease, and I don't know of any other option.
Okay, but don't we have to, are you working with the city coming
Oh,
back to
yeah.
us with the,
We have to Linda to tell them whether we're gonna stay in the lease or not. The lease runs out next year.
Yep, they have to do it this,
Next year.
Yeah.
by December
by
30th.
the end of the
31st
end of the year? And then we have to talk to them, but we also have to decide what the length of the lease is going to be.
Yeah, we can go and ask them for a 1 year or 2 year, see what the city wants to do.
All right,
And who's gonna be doing that?
I guess I will.
Barb, did you have something? I'm
Yes,
sorry, I
yeah,
can see
Barb.
where you came.
Go ahead.
That's, I think my point is passed. If we're not making any changes to the budget, then I'm not going to raise the issue of, or make the point of us. I just think there'll be more income next year.
Well, I hope so.
You know,
something
we
we don't
don't
know.
care.
You know
We
something.
don't care. We always underestimate income and overestimate expenses, and makes us look better.
Yeah.
Look better at the end of the year when you get the actuals. So,
Okay. Let's see. There's no personnel committee report tonight. The library consideration formation, we're going to table that for now, again, until after we've had the chance to meet with the other organizations. Ad hoc committee report, Barb?
I need to get us together and continue the work. I know that you have been gathering information with regard to the pros and cons of developing a relationship with a school district, and that Dan has been following up with the superintendent, so gather that information. as well as investigating other options that might be available. I think the work of the committee, the meeting on Thursday might be helpful with regard to this too.
I hope so. I think it will too, absolutely. All right. Any, getting all ready to leave?
Yeah.
Getting there.
That's old stuff.
Board, any other comments or items for the future agendas?
I heard two, X-rated videos and IFSL services being broke down by number.
You know, absolutely, and I'd like to know, the X-rated videos also kind of disturbs me a little bit. I'd like to know more about how that happens, so people requesting titles, is this stuff that's being pushed through to us from Indian Head?
Indian Head isn't,
So who's shopping for these things now?
it's your Hudson people requested this. Indian Head isn't shoving it on us.
Can't you decline X-rated videos?
We certainly can.
All right.
How many are there?
I'll let you chat and collect. 3,000. There's only 3,000 in the collection. I'm going to do it tonight.
So is that in the fiction or non-fiction?
Make an evening next week.
So there is one other agenda item, or something else that we need, at least perhaps to ask personnel to is Linda's review.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right, it's the end of the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
So that needs to be
right,
on the agenda, at least the process.
the process, yeah. We need to ask Dan that. All right, anything else? Perfect.
Move we adjourn.
Excellent. Moved and seconded that we adjourn. I'm getting ahead of that one. Moved and adjourned. Yeah.
So it was Osby and who?
Harriet.
Harriet?
What'd you say? Oh, Osby. I said Ozzy.
Osby and who's second?
Shaw.
Me,
Shaw.
myself.
Okay, and 7:37.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody. Nice job.